Welcome, all you viewers from Jet24, Fox 66, and YourErie.com. I'm your digital content manager, Nick Sorensen, and joining me today for this digital exclusive is a very good friend of mine, a very good buddy, my buddy Jade Roberts. Perhaps you've seen him maybe in the recent Super Bowl. He was in a Super Bowl commercial, by the way. So Jade, how you doing today?
Really good, Nick. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Always great talking to you.
Yeah, as Rocky would say, absolutely.
Absolutely. So tell us about the Super Bowl commercial that you were in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the most recent excitement I've had in my life, other than going to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I was able to snag a Super Bowl commercial for Michelob Ultra Seltzer, organic and sugar-free, I might add. But there's a little extra pitch there. Yeah, we filmed it in California in December, and it's been doing very well. I think it was rated by some organizations the top 5 Super Bowl commercial for 2021. So we're happy with that. And it was a lot of fun. We had in the one that they released, we had a Serena Williams lookalike.
Mm.
We had an Usher, uh, Malula, and Lucy Liu worked with me. It looked like for Lucy Liu. And then we also had none other than the Don Cheadle in the commercial.
Ooh,
He was the real star of the commercial with his brother, who played his lookalike.
I didn't know that was his brother.
Right. Yeah, that's actually his brother. And and throughout, you heard a narrative from a Christopher Walken. But the
Hmm.
Christopher Walken was actually a sound alike. He actually did the voiceover, but he's not a Christopher Walken lookalike.
Wow.
So that was kind of the surprise at the end. So we had a lot of fun with that. And I think I'm in it a few times in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And at the end, I act like I'm not so much of a super action figure because I got scared from the explosion. So
I will say that was my favorite part of the commercial.
okay,
When you jumped at that explosion.
yeah. Well, maybe it's because you know me too. That
Yeah,
helps.
that too.
Yeah.
That too.
Right. Right.
So I gotta ask, how did this opportunity come to be?
Well, they fanned the nation for impersonator lookalikes for several characters. I think I counted 30, 40, 50 on these audition sheets that went out on these casting sites that I belong to. And then one of my good friends, who's a Jason Statham impersonator, his name's Jason Stanley out of Louisiana. He's becoming a big TikTok star, as a matter of fact. He auditioned first, and he was giving me all the details, and I was excited for him. And as we saw the celebrity requests come down, there were Arnold Schwarzenegger, um, Bruce Willis, and all these different action guys and other actors and actresses. And I thought, well, where's Sylvester Stallone? I mean, he's one of the biggest movie icons, that we have right now, just from his longevity and all the success he's had. So finally, it came across. Every week, every few days, it'd come with other characters. I even submitted. They had the Greatest Showman uh,
Hugh
actor,
Jackman?
yeah, Hugh Jackman requested, and I had done a Greatest Showman character for a convention. And I said, well, I'll just submit these photos, and then also on the bottom I do Sylvester Stallone actually most of the time. And didn't get a response there. But then on Gig Salad, I got a response. They wanted me directly to audition.
Mm.
Then I also got contacted by one of my favorite agents, Dot Feinlatter, with Mirror Images, and she agreed to help me. She called me on it also, and so I said, why don't you just help me with this, Dot? Because we're working some other projects together. So that's how it started. And next thing I'm auditioning. Now we audition with the COVID, especially on our phones or our desktops. So I auditioned one day on a Wednesday, and then a call back on a Friday, and then can you put it on a hold on next week? And then the next week it was, can you a stronghold? And then, that what's next? The stranglehold. So I don't know what's going on here. So I'm trying to prep for this. So finally, December 18th, I flew out, and it was a wonderful experience, a SAG job. They really took care of me. I had a driver pick me up at my house, take me to the airport, driver pick me up from the airport, take me directly to a COVID test, and then back into the hotel. And then I waited on Saturday for the, and here's the funny part. Here's an inside piece of information that no one knows. You're the first one to hear this as far as on social media. I chipped my tooth, my front tooth somehow. Oh, this front tooth here has been repaired, but there was a chunk of probably 1/16 or 1/8. It looked like to me 1/8 of the tooth. That's what it felt like. So I looked like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. I woke up Saturday morning and I had that piece, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I passed the COVID test, and I have a piece of my tooth in my hand. What am I going to do? So I immediately started thinking, how can I change this scenario? How can I beat this? You know, as Rocky would take one step, one punch, one round. So I thought, what if I put some glue on it? This is a crazy idea. What if I got some super glue and glued it in it, because it seems to fit still. And so I messaged my dentist, Andy Irwin, here in Dallas. And luckily I'm connected to him, we're friends. And he said, well, I don't recommend the glue. So I went next door to the gas station. I said, the next thing I can think of is gum. Maybe push some gum up in there, you know, because I haven't even been with a makeup artist or anything yet. No wardrobe fitting. And I didn't know if I should, you know, tell them how big of a deal. I didn't want to mess it up for anyone, try to fix it. I'm Mr. Fix It. That's just, I'd fix everything myself. I try first, no matter what it is. So I got 2 packs of gum. One had blue spots in it and one was almost white. So the almost white looked closer. I took a little piece, chewed it up, smashed it up in there, and voila, it actually covered the gap. And so that commercial, I did the national commercial, Super Bowl commercial for Michelob Ultra, was done with a piece of gum shoved up in the back of my teeth to cover this gap in my teeth for the commercial.
Wow.
So that's the craziest thing that happened. So I find out Saturday afternoon, finally, that the COVID test is a negative. That means I can go. Wardrobe's on Sunday. I meet a wardrobe, Lucy Liu impersonator. She's great. It's really nice. So we're getting fitted. Monday, we shot the ad, and then I was getting ready to go back to come back to Dallas. And they said, can you stay an extra day? So actually, they kept me over a couple more days. So on Wednesday, we did a still photo shoot on the yacht. So it turned out to be a wonderful experience. I don't want to go into every little detail of the commercial right now, but you know, just I figured that gives you an overview. They really took care of me. First class plane ticket, you know, driver to the airport, driver to my house, and accomplished it with some gum fixing the gap in my tooth.
Wow. Wow.
That
You would
crazy?
think they would also have given you like a private dentist or something with it too, you know?
Well, it's you know, got a lot of moving parts. I mean, I'm not Don Cheadle. I was I'm just an impersonator. So I knew I went to talk to the makeup people at wardrobe, and we talked about it. And then when the production people from Pretty Bird Production says, I don't think it's going to be a problem. So she made me feel better, because I told them I got the gum. And then the makeup ladies, they didn't really know. They thought maybe we can, I thought, do you have some wax or something? So they didn't really have an idea, and it worked out fine. The gum worked fine. And, you know, we did a lot of shots with explosives behind us. We actually filmed that under an overpass in Los Angeles. And what you see in the commercial, if you have a still shot of it, you see explosives, like bombs, fireballs behind us, and then the highway over us. And that's the true highway. That's really a highway. That's really, I think it was 10 or one of the major highways there, 110. I can't remember which highways where we were, but the explosives would go off, but they were debris that was fired in the air, not fired. Now there were cars on fire. There were literally cars on, you know, with controlled fire. They have pyrotechnics guys there and stunt coordinator and everything. They had a bunch of extras that were in the shot that you don't really see, but they were there. There were like 20 extras that were supposed to get up like zombie, like we just kicked butt, and they're running and walking away from us, but you don't see it in the film because you know how they're going to edit things.
Hmm.
But it turned out it was really good, very professional. Obviously, it was top notch commercial, and we're just so happy that it turned out so well. We've got a lot of good feedback, and I've had a lot of good feedback.
Beautiful.
So you liked it? Good. I'm glad you liked it, Nick.
Yes, 100%. Your part was the most comical, like I said. So not only did they take care of you during the commercial, they also flew you out to the Super Bowl. Am I correct?
No, that was on my
Huh.
own. That was actually on my own dime. I have a friend who knows has some people in the Kansas City Chiefs organization, and so we wanted to go and make sure that I took part. Since I was on a commercial, it made me more excited about going there. And
Hmm.
we did some activities around the Super Bowl, parties, cocktail parties, and that sort of thing. Had a lot of seafood. Toured Tampa and Clearwater, and just had a lot of fun talking to people about the commercial. There's the NFL experience, we hit that, and I don't want to say who we hung out with, but we hung out with some people involved with Kansas City Chief organization, and they're just great people. And we were kind of rooting for Kansas City, but I'm originally from Florida, so Tampa Bay, that's fine. And that Brady got his seventh. I mean, you can't deny he's the GOAT, as people say. He doesn't make mistakes. He almost threw the trophy into the drink when the Super Bowl parade. I don't know if you saw that. They're in a boat parade, and he threw the trophy to his buddies behind him. It's a really funny video. But like people say, he has 6. So if he lost one, what's the difference, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. So what did you think of the game, by the way?
Well, I wasn't rooting that strongly for either team.
Hmm.
I just want to see a good game. In the beginning, I thought Kansas City was going to win. So I'm always rooting for the underdog. To me, Tampa Bay was the underdog, even with Brady. That's what I thought. And so that made it, okay. Kansas City will be back. Mahomes, Texas Tech. My daughter played volleyball for Texas Tech.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so yeah, I like Mahomes. He's a Texas boy, and he's unbelievable. So he'll be back. Brady, I mean, how many times can you do it? What is he, 43 or something?
Yeah. I think Brady's gonna play until he goes to the grave,
Yeah, right. He could. He very could. I mean, I think he'll play because he can't until they knock him off the field somehow.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
Now,
enjoyed it. But like I said, didn't know who's gonna win, and it's one of those things. Super Bowls are big parties for a lot of people, and the commercial. We were watching for my commercial also, and the only unfortunate thing about the commercial is it wasn't shown until 5 minutes left in the game, and a lot of people had quit watching, right, because it was a blowout and the game was essentially over.
mhm,
31-9, I guess the final score was.
yeah,
But yeah, we had fun. I got my got the
got the shirt, got the
obligatory,
hat.
obligatory t-shirt and hat, and we had a good time. My buddy Keith and I had we met some nice people, and it was an experience I didn't want to miss, especially since I had a commercial in the Super Bowl.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, you've mentioned all about your impression. You were Rocky in this commercial, but you also do the impersonation of Rocky Balboa as as your side gig, as you've done cameos and videos. You and me have chatted as you were Rocky. How did you come up with this impersonation?
Um, well, let me go back. I'll go back to childhood. When I was a little guy, I for some reason I was a little bit of an artist. I could draw pretty well. I had a creative side. And I also, for some reason, I was kind of goofy. I was shy but goofy, and I had
Mhm.
a tape recorder that my dad had an old reel-to-reel, and I would play with that, and that broke or something. So one Christmas, I got a cassette recorder, and do people even know what cassettes are anymore? But anyway,
I do.
Okay, you do. You're a young man, Nick. So the cassette recorder became a little, like a little buddy of mine. So I would just practice doing voices in this cassette recorder, and I would practice being a DJ, WBAP, I just a little kid and having fun. And then when I got in my teenage years, we would shoot Super 8 video. My grandfather had this Super 8 camera. It had no sound. It would produce no sound. So when you filmed it, you'd take it to the Walgreens or whatever, you take it somewhere and you get it turned into a reel that you can put on a projector, and you'd put it on a projector and watch it. No sound, right? So it'd just be tick, 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 tick. So I would take the cassette recorder and I would try to do a voiceover for it. So I kind of practiced as a kid, and we made a couple of little movies when we were in high school. And in practicing these voices, once Rocky came out and I went to the movie, I started doing the voice, and it was fairly easy for me to say, "Yo, Adrian, absolutely, yo, Mick, you don't like this place? That's right. This place stinks, right? That's right, it stinks." One of my favorite scenes for some reason. But so it started with a guy coming into my high school class and saying, "You look like this guy, this boxer guy." And I said, "I don't know who this guy is." And he brings a TV guide in, and I said, "Well, it could be my uncle or my older brother." And we went to see Rocky, friends and I, and we came out, people were looking at me, and it was kind of staring. I felt like maybe they think I kind of look like him. Then in college, I was told to enter a lookalike contest. I was going to Auburn University, and there was a Holiday Inn in Columbus, Georgia. And a lady came in. I was working at Sears and Roebuck in the men's department. "You look like Sylvester Stallone. You need to enter our contest." "What contest?" "A lookalike contest." "A lookalike contest? Oh, never heard of that." "Yeah, you can win $50. So I go, "Okay." She comes in the next week. "You didn't show up. Where were you? We need you to come out. You'll win easily." So that encouraged me too. But when I would back then, in college, when I would go to a bar, people would walk through the crowd and I hear, "You, Adrian," as I'd walk by. I mean, I heard that. And I was always self-conscious because I was thin. I was strong, but thin. I played football, but I wasn't a starter. I was like a backup player in football. So I developed my body. One reason, because people said I look like him. And then when this lookalike thing came up, that encouraged me more. I could do the voice better than anything. I'm taller, I'm younger. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but I can do the impersonation. The way you kind of turn your mouth sideways and you figure out you could do it. You got to do your best job. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Nick? Yeah, you know what I mean? But I sniff a little bit, and get it. And after all these years, so anyway, how I got into it, answer your question. Kid came into high school, so you look like this guy. Lookalike contest, offered up on a platter. You can win. I won. Then I came to Dallas and one other lookalike contest. Then I got agents and people promoting me and putting me in commercials. And that's how I developed my acting skills, is through the lookalike. I did acting lessons and I would audition for other parts. But kind of like Stallone, when he was coming up, he'll tell you he was always cast as a bad guy. There are only so many parts that probably I was up for at times, and I just got discouraged after a while. After I got married and had a little baby on the way, I thought, I'm going to do something other than being a bouncer and trying to be an actor, because I was a bouncer for many years. Imagine that, a Rocky lookalike as a bouncer. Hey, you need to calm down. I'm going to have to remove you, So I was doing that. And then I said, what can I do? And I had a couple of friends, Larry North and Doug Murphy, that were doing personal training. I thought, what can I do to help support the family that's more consistent? Because the Stallone in the 80s with a Rambo and a Rocky, it was really hot then. And then we didn't have the social media back then. So to get things going, you had to promote yourself or be with a lookalike agency or something like that. This wasn't as common. So I became a personal trainer. So that's how I got into the lookalike business. And then I transitioned into, so I'm a fitness trainer, been a personal trainer for many years. So that's my other job, bodybyjadefitness.com, if you want to look that up, and then I have a Facebook page too. But yeah, sorry, long-winded.
No, that's perfect.
I've had a lot of coffee today,
That's perfect. We love it when you go into detail, It's
Yeah,
better than just those people who give that answer of just,
one word answer.
Look like them, decided to do something with it,
That's right. Well, Nick,
Yep.
somebody said I look like them. That's what
Hmm. You look like him and you sound like him. Now, have you met the real Sylvester Stallone?
yes, I have a couple of times. So the first time I met him, when I used to do commercials, I used to do car commercials. They'd fly me around the country, do car commercials. A lot of fun. And they would actually tell the community, it would be a small town community. Matter of fact, Tampa was one of them years ago that
Hmm.
they would call up the radio station, the producers of commercial, and the car dealers would say, yeah, like say the producer would call up radio station or TV station, say, when is Sylvester Stallone going to be in? Do you know what he's doing over there at Ralph's Honda? And they would say, no, Ralph's Honda. Then they'd send a crew over to Ralph's Honda. Well, that's where I'd be doing a commercial. They'd see me doing a commercial. I go, is that Stallone? They'd come up, oh, that's not Stallone. But they would play along with it. So there was a lot of that happened way back then. But anyway, what was your question again? I'm getting off.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Did you actually meet the real Stallone?
Yes. So the real Stallone, when they opened a Planet Hollywood in Dallas, he was there. I was dating a girl in the media back then. So we went to this pre-opening thing with Cindy Crawford and a couple of Cowboys players, Dallas Cowboys players. And I was able to get one of the first Planet Hollywood hats in Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got the hat. Stallone's there for the real opening, the groundbreaking, the ribbon cutting. I show up and I'm wearing the Planet Hollywood hat. I'm in the crowd. Because every story, every question you ask, Dick, leads to another story. So I'm in the crowd, and a mom comes up with a little boy and says, "Are you Sylvester Stallone?" And I said, "No, I just look like him a little bit." There's a rope. Behind the rope are radio stations. There's people in the radio stations. Can you talk to us? There's a police officer. I happen to know the police officer. He says, they go, hey, can he come back behind the rope? And they want to interview me because people are looking at me. He looks like Stallone. Police officer says, no, I know the guy. He's a nice guy. He says, let me go ask him. He goes, no, they don't want, Sly doesn't want anybody back there. They're his people. So I'm thinking, I've got an envelope. I've got photos and a letter to him saying, I would love to work for you. You're because my idol, like many other people would say. But people say I look like you and sound like you, and I would love to work with you. It would be cool if I could, I just appreciate everything you've done because it affects my life too, because I'm enjoying the ride as a look-alike impersonator, a tribute artist or whatever. So I had an envelope, picture some letter. And then I noticed there's a lady that looks like Bridget Nielsen, which was his current wife back then, or ex-wife or something. And we're standing on this raised up area talking to each other. Where'd this lady come from? He goes, yeah, people say, oh, you do look like Bridget. Oh, you look like Stallone. Then Mr. Stallone comes in riding a longhorn bull, a longhorn cow, bull, whatever. The big horns that go out like this.
Yep.
And he's riding, he's got this leather Planet Hollywood, and he gets off of this big bull. And he gets off in the crowd on the side. He hits a hammer to and breaks this fake foam thing in front of the restaurant. He goes down to sign autographs. He shows up again, briefly shows up. There's a rope. And all these kids, Mister, can I get your autograph? So he's signing autographs. And I can't go behind the rope to me. I thought, well, what if I met him back there? No, that's not gonna happen. So what do I have to do? I've got to figure out a way, be persistent, just like Rocky would be. You got to keep moving forward to present this to him. So I'm getting close. I'm thinking, this may be my only chance. So I work through it. And there's a lot of kids, and I'm taller, so I reach through, and this is for you, Mr. Stallone. This is for you. in kind of a Rocky voice. This is for you. This is for you, Mr. Stallone. This is for you, because I'm trying to show him I can do his voice. And he finally looks up. He's signing. He looks up. He takes the envelope from me, nods, like jerk off or whatever. Then he hands it to his bodyguard. His bodyguard takes it, hands it to the cop. I don't know. So that was my first meeting. And he's just like, he's trying to sign autographs, and I'm trying to butt in here to this autograph thing and give him something for me. you know, and I'm sure it happens here and there. And it was nice. At least he took it, and he said, "I can't take." Whatever he said, I can't take that. How embarrassing would that be? I can't take. I can't take it. Mr. Long or this bodyguard comes up, says, "I can't." That would be bad. So anyway, second and only other time, even though I did a promotion for Get Carter, and they flew me. Warner Brothers flew me out to L.A. and in Manchester Theater, did a tour of radio stations. And I was one of the judges for a lookalike for him, even though I'm the lookalike. I was one of the judges, and I'd had my heads, pictures of my heads at his, you know, the concrete out there where they've got the footprints and the handprints. And so I ended up meeting him one other time, and they flew me out to be in the movie Grudge Match as his taller, younger boxing double. Yeah, so they flew me to New Orleans. I get on set. I wind my way around to this building. Not really helped at all. The lady says, "Oh, they're shooting back there." There was no real security. There's no security. I walked back to the back, and there's like a big soundstage set up, huge, with like, you know, 30 people back there working, lights. And so I start meeting people. "Oh, how are you? Oh, yeah. You need me." Boxing coordinator meets me. Producers meet me. I'm all set to audition. We got to wait. I had no idea who was going to be there, but guess who was there?
Stallone?
Yep. Kim Basinger,
Ooh.
Alan Arkin, and Sylvester Stallone are all there. And basically they're just setting up lights and sound. They're trying to figure out how they're going to do these shots. So I'm on standby. I don't know he's there. I see Kim Basinger walk in and out. They're going out to the back, coming in. And then I look up. I was talking to somebody. I look up. I mean, he's there. He's in a coat and a hat, and he's there in the soundstage. And he's, you know, quite a bit of ways from me. Then he disappears and comes back. This time I thought, this is my opportunity, because when you audition or you do anything, even films, when I was on Moonlighting with Bruce Willis, that's another story. We don't get into that today. But I wasn't in the scene with him in person, but I was in the scene on camera, you know, on the film, the actual TV show, because they edited it together. So he comes out. I said, I got to introduce my, oh, before I forget, he walked out by me, and I was talking to somebody, and as he walked by me, and he was going in the second time, and I'm talking to this guy, and I hear, "Yo," and I look, and it's him, and he's walking by me, and he throws something in the trash, and he's just kind of sauntering along, you know. To the guy next to me, I said, because it's kind of dark, it's backstage, kind of on the sides. Is he messing with me? Yeah. He said, it sounded like he said, "Yo." I said, he did. He said, "Yo, he's messing with me." So he's got a sense of humor. So when he came out, I said, I got to meet him. So he's walking out. Here's my chance. And I go, "Mr. Stallone." I didn't do the voice, actually my regular voice. I said, "Mr. Stallone, I'm Jade Roberts. I just want to introduce myself." And he reaches, shakes my hand, and he says, "I know." And he just kind of walks off. That's all I could. Okay. I don't know how to take that. I'll just take it as a positive that at least he shook my hand, and he was getting his smart ass, and he said, "Oh, I know what's going on. What do you think? I don't know what's going on here. I'm the guy. I'm Sylvester Stallone. I'm Sly, you know." So anyway, the end of that. So I auditioned. Oh, and he's on the sidelines before I audition, and he's got his shirt off, and he's ripped. And you know, I tried to be, you know, you got to be. I'm a trainer and a Stallone impersonator. You got to be in shape as much as you can. And I try to keep, you know, the guns, you know, pumped up, you know. So you can see I still work out. But to be ripped, to have your abs and veins popping out, you know, sometimes that takes extra preparation, lead time. I don't always have that. He's getting ready for a film, but he's amazing. And he's like 70 years old, 69 years old, and he is ripped. And so I'm watching, I'm looking at him, and he's showing the director, who I already met, how he boxes, because they're going to teach me how to box like his style. And he's a southpaw, so he's going to lead with his right. So they take me they put my outfit on, my boxing outfit on, and I'm walking by, I'm going, oh, is she going to be watching? I go in and do my thing, different camera angles. I spin, doing, punching. And they're videotaping this for the audition. When it's all said and done, the director was a director of 50 First Dates, Adam Sandler movie, legit director. He and the boxing coordinator, I'm going to teach you how to do. Yeah, you got it. Like 3 or 4 producers, thanks for coming. Yeah, we're looking for, we finally got you. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, oh yeah, thanks for coming. CGI guy says, hey, Jade, and he says, see you here. And I was like, I look good. It's a short time to get ready and lean down somewhat, pump up. He says, we're going to take Mr. Stallone's face, and we're going to put it on your face. So don't worry about it. I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. They don't need me. They're going to use his face. So they said, I got it. My agent contacts him. Like a couple of weeks. And they're like, well, hold on. You're on hold. And the agent's like, why is he on hold? Oh yeah, they're not going to use him. Why? She pesters him a little bit. The stunt coordinator who wasn't there, he calls her up and he says, I don't usually take time to do this, but just to be nice, we went a different direction. It just wasn't a good match or whatever, And then when I saw the film, they used, okay, let me back up a little bit. The reason they wanted a taller boxing double is because the actor that plays Robert De Niro's son in the movie was taller. And he was going to play his dad, De Niro, in the ring. And he did a little boxing. So they were bringing me in so I could kind of match up with him. Well, they ended up using shorter boxing stunt doubles, and they did superimpose the CGI the face on him. So that's how I lost that gig. But I met Stallone, even though he just said, I know. What can I say? And then when I did the Warner Brothers thing in LA, the guy from Warner Brothers said, Sly knows you're doing this. There are several openings. You're going to do an opening in this city. He's going to do the one in LA and Hollywood. And he may or may not show up at yours where you are or not, but he knows you're doing it. So, he's known about me for years. He probably thinks I'm a pest, but he's a funny guy. You can't help but love him. He's done so much for, positive movie. There's a lot of positivity in the Rocky. He does some, the Rambo's more violent, but, he's still a character that only strikes in defense of the weaker. He's not, there's not gratuitous violence from the Rambo character, but, so his characters. And so now Mr. Stallone is on Instagram and Facebook, and he's very open, and he puts a lot of info out there, and I think it's wonderful. So I follow him there and on Twitter, and he's always lately he's talking about different projects, like redoing the Rocky IV, excuse me, and a Poe movie he's been working on since his 20s. And maybe, who knows, another Rocky movie, another Rocky. So anyway, I'm sorry. Once again,
no, you're fine.
Very long-winded.
Man, you are more than fine.
And
So
enough coffee.
yeah, you mentioned you've not only taken this impersonation and just, I'll just do it like for some friends at a party, or I'll, just go around the streets every now and then, just give somebody a, yo, how you doing? Or something like that. You actually have taken it to more levels. For example, do you do anything like any cameo or any like just video shout outs? Like if I were to contact you today and say, hey, can you reach out to my best friend and, like, could we do like something that like says like that I know the real Rocky or something like that,
Funny you should ask. Nice that you asked. Yes, I have just recently put together an account on Cameo. It's cameo.com. It's where all the celebrities have most of them have their availability for videos, personalized videos for people, and sports figures and just famous people. And I'm just, I'm a lookalike impersonator, but it's still a lot of fun, and I can do a lot of fun things if you can't afford the real Stallone. And it's called Rocky Balboa Impersonator. My link is Rocky Balboa Impersonator on Cameo. And just started a couple weeks ago, and I'm just trying to get used to the app. You know, I had done another one. I have another app that I'm on, celebrity video messaging, but the Cameo I think is a little more prominent. It was the first one, I believe, but I'm just happy to be on Cameo. So Rocky Balboa Impersonator on Cameo.com, and go to the go online to the website. Don't use the app, because if you use the app, I get less money. So, sorry. Yeah, go to the cameo.com site and get it there. Or if you get it, you can get it from my Facebook page, Jade Roberts, Jade Roberts. If you Google Stallone impersonator, look like you probably come up, or if you Google Jade Roberts, you'll come up with, especially Jade Roberts, you'll come up with a lot of the Stallone stuff. Facebook pages, my website is StalloneImpersonator.com. And yeah, a lot of ways to find me there. And look for me in the Michelob Ultra Seltzer Super Bowl commercial. If you look up Michelob Ultra Seltzer Super Bowl commercial on YouTube, you will find me kind of playing the sly guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Don Cheadle and a lot of other talented impersonators. Too many to mention right now.
Nice. Nice. Now I got two more questions for you. The
No
first
problem. Hey, I got all day and I got a lot of coffee here too.
the first one is, outside of the impersonation, what do you do for a living?
Oh yeah, as I mentioned before, you know, I got into the personal training business. It only made sense. I had my Mr. Texas years ago, good friend of mine, and Larry North, who got big fitness and uh, a gosh, he had this big program, Lean Across America, I believe, years ago. Big fitness guru and talk radio fitness shows and all kinds of stuff. So I decided I can do some of that too, because we have a lot of similar background. And so I started personal training, and my website is bodybyjadefitness.com, Body by Jade Fitness, and on Instagram, and then Jade Roberts, the Sly Guy, is someplace. I think that's on Twitter. But yeah, I'm doing the fitness training business. I have been doing it for many years. I have several clients. I always have a couple openings here and there. I train people virtually now, online, anywhere in the world, from right here in the Sly Guy cave. Yeah, right here. And so remotely, I trained several people. And then I got people that I train at the parks here with the COVID, and then a few select gyms that are open. And then I will, using safely required any kind of COVID limitations, always use, of course, to go in person to someone's home, but in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Nice, nice. Now, let's end on some pieces of advice, shall we?
Okay.
First off, what's your advice for anyone who wants to be an impersonator, anyone who wants to do something like what you do? Right.
Well, okay, let's say I, in general, I think it's changed a little bit, the lookalike impersonator business, with COVID especially, because one of the main things that we generally do is we do corporate events where we show up at big parties and galas and we take photos with people, especially Oscar themed events. And that's limited now, but it'll come back. But if you think you look like somebody enough, or can do a character, there's Comic Cons now. There's the people that don't necessarily look like people, but they dress up and they have fun, and maybe they'll get hired for things. So whatever your dream is, if you get a lot of input from people that say you look, don't trust one person that says, you look like. I would take it all in from several people and angles and see, and then if you really keep getting that, and you see the resemblance and you enjoy doing impersonations. I mean, some of them, people don't really do the voice. They just look exactly just like spot. I'm not a photo double, so it's spot on, but they look so much like them. You can't, you take a second. I can't believe it's not them. Well, you can get photography and visual work. And then in person, you can take photos all you want like that. If you want to do commercials, you got to work on the voice, you know. If you you're gonna do anything, you know, requiring the voice, obviously they're not going to dub the original celebrity's voice in much for you, and they will sometimes big commercials. But yeah, if you have a dream, and for me, it was an avenue to get into acting and to get into projects. It was my vehicle. And as years ago in an acting class, one of the instructors says, is I have a gimmick. I mean, that may sound kind of cheap and kind of derogatory, but no, it's a gimmick. It's good to have a little gimmick, and a gimmick can be a positive thing if it helps you further your career. So I would just encourage, if you really have it, it's just like anything. If you got it in your heart that you want to try something, go try it. The worst thing that happens is that you fail and you can figure out another way to get in the business, or maybe work on your costume or your makeup or something. And because as Ron Smith, one of the first celebrity lookalike agents, used to say, it's an illusion of an illusion. So we have an illusion of all these celebrities from photos and film, and it changes you. It's not the same as in person. And then, so you got that illusion alone, and then we create another level of illusion because we're not exactly like them. So we try to put as much as we can into it, make you feel like, you know, it's the guy, you know what I mean? You got to have an attitude. You know? Match the attitude to the character.
Yes. You remind me so much of the speech to the sun in the 6th movie, about how it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. But now that you know what you're worth, go out and get what you're worth. You got to be willing to take the hit.
Exactly. And you are wearing, look what Mr. Nick is wearing. He's wearing an official replica of the Rocky Balboa hat that you can get on, what is it? It's Sylvester Stallone shop, the Stallone shop, right? StalloneShop.com.
Yep. SlyStalloneShop.com, as it says in my hat.
Sly Stallone Shop. Okay. I have the tiger jacket.
Ooh.
Rocky Tiger jacket. And I got that from that site. That's an unbelievable site. You can find anything Rocky on that site.
Now you have to get the fedora. Now you have to get the fedora.
Yeah, I have one. I have an old one. Like, you know, Stallone, he was saying in a video, I just saw, I think this morning, that, you know, and I've heard him say this before, that when he filmed, when he started to film Rocky, he thought, you know, he saw this hat in a store. He saw the original hat, and he said it was an unusual, unique hat, fedora, and it turned up at a brim and stuff. And he says, and it had cardboard in it. And he said, look, he says, this is perfect. Give me that hat. So he took the hat, and at first the producers, they were like, why you got the hat? You don't need a hat, right? He says, no. So he pushed for it, and he made sure he wore that hat. He said, so it's like his armor. It's like Rocky's armor, you know, like with the gloves and the coat, you know. So it's like, it's like, what is it? Frank Sinatra was Frank Sinatra known for the hat, the fedora too? So he's known for this hat. So anyway, I have an old one. I found an old one years ago that I've been using. So I'm kind of fond of it. You know, I've got it shaped the way I want it, and it's not official like yours, but it's my Rocky hat, you know? Yeah. So I'm thinking I should get one. Maybe that's okay, Nick, next year for Christmas, you know what to get me. I'm just kidding. No, but I'll probably get one. But yeah, it's a great shop. You can go there, and then, yeah, I love when he's talking to his son. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It'll bust you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. Not you, me, or nobody's going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. No, if you know what you're worth, you got to go and get what you're worth. And not be pointing fingers and saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and it ain't you. You're better than that.
Loved it. Loved it. And that would be Rocky's advice. Channeling your inner Sly guy. That would be Rocky's advice for the world today, right?
Exactly. You know, and I use those lines every chance I get because they're unbelievable. I don't know if Sly wrote them, who wrote them, but I got to give him credit. As far as I know, he knows how to create these catchphrases and these Rocky statements and the whole the mantra of the Rocky culture. It's just, it's the little guy, as you know, Nick, from your grandfather, right? Was your great grandfather? Your grandfather had that connection, right?
Yep.
No, don't give up. Keep punching.
Yep. Keep taking the hits one step at a time, one punch at a time, one round at a time.
That's right. Exactly.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, buddy, for joining us today. For everyone, this is Jade Roberts, Sly Guy. You can find him on Cameo. You can find him on his websites. Just please look him up. And if you ever just need someone to just give you some motivation, just say happy birthday to your friend, you name it. This is your guy right here.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us.
Cameo. Yeah, Rocky Balboa impersonator on Cameo, Stalloneimpersonator.com, Jade Roberts. And just give me a call and I'll see if I can help you out. And don't forget.
You've helped me out.
Exactly. Keep punching.
Yep. You helped me with my Adrian. So
there you go. Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you. All right, buddy. We'll catch you around.
Until next time.
Yep. This is Jade Roberts. I'm Nick Sorensen for Jet 24, Fox 66, YourErie.com. We'll catch you later.